Hey everybody, this is Mike McDermott. I'm just going to provide this week's City Council update. It's for the City Council meeting of February 6th, 2012. And going to follow along for my meeting agenda. Looks like we're going to set a date for council retreat. We're going to talk about the year-end financial update and then police staffing at 7 o'clock at City Council prior to the meeting at 7:30. Public is invited to check out the general meeting that starts at 7:30, and looks like we've got quite a few things that are interesting on the docket this week. Um, the first ordinance is a second reading, so basically we're going to vote on it tomorrow night. Is the ordinance establishing the seasonal and daily pass rates for the usage fees and charges for patrons of the TFAC, which is the Tip City Family Aquatic Center. So we're going to be voting on that. I believe the fees went up incrementally a little bit. We hadn't raised them in the past, and this is we're taking an opportunity to increase the rates along with actually increasing the calendar days that we're going to be open. So that was voted on last council session. Council approved the extension of the days of operation by 13, and the additional rate increase definitely had something to do with that. So that was part of the overall calculation that council made to try and make sure that the pool ends up fully whole and not indebted to the taxpayers there, and having the city to go in and fund the pool directly. Second item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing city manager to purchase a police vehicle. Looks like the city of Tip City has been using Fords for quite some time, and one of the things that I found out in my city tour was that the city employees actually work on their own vehicles. We get very little of the maintenance work done on the vehicles by outside companies, oil changes, brake jobs, things like that. That's all taken care of by staff. It's another good way of saving us money when it comes down to figuring out how much the vehicles are going to cost over the lifetime. So the staff is recommending that we stay with Ford, as is the police chief and Mr. Basie, Officer Basie, who is the fleet supervisor for TIP, and he is recommending the purchase of a Ford Explorer or the Ford Taurus, and I believe council will be deciding which one we're going to be making the purchase of. There's goods and bad things about either one of them. Price-wise, amount of room, amount of mileage, size of the engine, size of the interior, size of the trunk, that kind of stuff. So we're looking at all that, and that will be voted on in a resolution on Monday night. But this is all money that was already set aside in the Capital Improvement Reserve Fund by the city to pay for this vehicle. So this is not money that's additional. This is stuff that's actually just been budgeted. So we just have to pass that resolution to purchase that vehicle. Next item on the agenda is a resolution declaring the intent of the municipality of Tip City to appropriate certain properties inside corporation limits. Bottom line, Ginghamsburg, as of, I guess, 2 weeks from now, is if we all vote in the same way, we will have them in the corporation limit. So Ginghamsburg will no longer just have a Tip City address, but they will also be receiving Tip City Electric, Tip City Water, and Tip City taxes, I guess, income taxes, because they're a nonprofit. So that it would be good to have them aboard. It's been something that's been long discussed. I think it's been discussed for several years, and finally getting around to getting it done. So welcome aboard, Ginghamsburg. We love having you in Tip City. Next resolution is authorizing city manager to enter an agreement with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the engineering specs for the South County Road 25A reconstruction project. Now, as you know, during the election last year, you heard me kind of speak out a little bit about this issue, that I was concerned about the spending of any money in expanding the width of a road, specifically with no economic objective. So other than if we widen the road, the chances are that somebody may come along the wider road that's newly paved and say, hey, I want to put a business here. Outside of that, I didn't see a whole lot of driver for that. Outside of, it's a fantastic grant deal. I can't say that we're going to be able to get $2.5 million for free at the expense of Tip City for $820,000. So I will have to see. We're going to be talking with other city council members here about this issue, see where their stands is and what their ideas are on it prior to the meeting tomorrow night. But widening of 25A, I'm not sure exactly where that fits in the overall master economic plan, because we don't have one. So I have strong feelings that the city would need a actual defined economic plan and development for 25A prior to actually just going in and throwing $800,000 at it. So it was financed differently. It's using entirely utility fund money, which was allocated to the project. This is all above board funding. Basically, the funding is going to pay for all of the electric, water, sewer out of the electric, water, sewer funds, which are self-funded, funded by not the taxpayer necessarily, but the folks that actually pay for water, sewer, and electric. So there are enhancements that are along the project that will make Tip City have better, more reliable electricity, water, and sewer. So those particular concerns I do support. The widening of 25A, I'm not sure if that's exactly matches with some of that. So we'll see what happens. Next item on the agenda will be a resolution declaring personal property owned by Tip City as surplus property. Basically, we've got a water pump that's surplus property. We're going to sell that. All right. Next item on the agenda. Ordinances. And this is the one that probably is going to get the most press coming out of Monday night. And it is the Fieldstone Place Senior Living Campus. It's on 25A at Evanston. So imagine Evanston Road there at the corner of Evanston and 25A where they meet. There's going to be a piece of a new development there called Fieldstone Place Senior Living Campus. There's going to be a small campus built first in phase 1 and then a much larger campus in phase 2. The complexity with this is outside of the widening of 25A and putting the water, sewer, electric down through there in support of this particular project. Again, i.e. go look back at the 25A widening project and see how that all fits together. The Fieldstone Place Senior Living Campus is going to be a small development, and then it's supposed to blossom out. Now, the interesting part about Fieldstone is that the developers that are developing it weren't able to come up with the cash to perform the project 100% from front to back, and they've been looking at it since 2007. One of the things that they ended up coming to the city was as a proposal is the only way we can make this work is with a tax incentive, and so a TIF is being looked at. It's called tax incentive financing. It's something that started out in California back in the 40s or 50s, I believe, and it's been used in pretty much all the states nationwide to go in and primarily finance redevelopment of blighted areas. So take an area of downtown Dayton, has an old building falling down, that kind of stuff. Blighted area, developer comes in and says, hey, I can go take that building down, pave it over, put something nice on it, and as long as you give me a tax incentive. And the TIF is used for that. This is a unique use of the TIF in that it's not a redevelopment of blighted area, it's turning a cornfield and a farm into a senior housing complex area. So we're going to be discussing what exactly that means, what's the difference there, what the use of the TIF, and whether or not maintains what we want to do in Tip City. Essentially, how this works is as farmland, there's very little tax coming into the Tip City coffers right now from the property. Very little at all. It's just a field, so it has a very minimum amount of tax being, assessed to it. Imagine paving it, putting water, sewer, electricity, cable TV, buildings, sidewalks, curbs, gutters, and basically improving the thing, totally improving it. It's actually a incredibly vibrant development, and that development now can be, has a higher value, has a higher tax value. So what the city does with that is that they increase the amount of tax value to it, but that increase from farmland to fully taxed, fully improved land, that money there goes back to the developer to basically we are not going to be taxing them at this rate for a period of 30 years. We're going to be taxing them at the farmland rate. Farmland rate, big rate. And that's the only way that they've got the ability to move forward, is if we do not increase them that rate. Now, after 30 years, that property then does become fully taxable. But as proposed, the idea is that they'll have a bunch of seniors living there. I think there's an Alzheimer's unit, things like that. Very nice facility has been proposed. And there'll be taxes being paid after 30 years there on that property. Now that I'm sure there will be discussions by council of, is a subsidy necessary? Will there be any? I look at it like this: that this is farmland that's been sitting there for a while, has definite development potential for someone that wants to develop. Not a whole lot of development going on right now, folks. So do we kind of buckle down, provide a TIF in this instance, so that this developer can develop that land, put something, improved property on there, so that in the future that will become an asset to the city and an asset to our community. From a tax perspective, from a community perspective, obviously the seniors will be, using our stores, our churches, our downtown, and all of that stuff. And I mean, there will be definite benefit for them there, economic and otherwise, before the 30 years. And obviously after the 30 years, the taxes will start to be collected in the improved state. Now, I'm a big guy about, over 30 years, they're probably going to want their roads repaved in that community. And so we're not only going to be subsidizing that chunk that I spoke about earlier, but now Tip City residents will have to now pay to repave, resurface, fix potholes, scrape, ice, snow, all that stuff over the 30-year period of time, and receive absolutely no tax benefits payment for said services. So the overall indebtedness is actually more than what the value of the TIF is. So we're going to have to discuss that. It's going to be one of these, it's going to be the discussion of the day, what's going to be in the newspaper, what's going to have people interested. and I'm not sure exactly where I fall right now. I love the idea of a TIF. I love the idea of being used for economic development. I believe that this farmland probably will not be developed in the next 10, 15 years, possibly. So because there's so much other land that is just as accessible, just as, you know, available, and it doesn't necessarily meet my median use for 25A, right? 25A is a nice thoroughfare. It goes all the way through Miami County. It's a nice alternative to I-75. It's good for, it's going to, when widened, great for truck traffic. Residential area. I don't know. I'm thinking small manufacturing, other things, I guess. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk a little bit about the pros and cons about the Fieldstone Place Senior Living Campus. And really it comes down to whether or not City Council believes that the TIF is the right financial instrument to use to get that development there, and how badly do we want that development there. So we're going to be testing that. So it's going to be interesting. As of right now, I have no idea where I'm sitting on it. I'm going to have to look for significant justification as well as protection for the residents of TIF, so that we do not. It is not a underfunded TIF, meaning we don't pay more than what we said we were going to pay. And that it is a performing TIF, meaning that the developer will develop phase 1 as written and phase 2 as written, so that we receive the end product, which will eventually become that economic development force that we want it to in the future. So enough said about that, but just wanted to share that with you and let you know kind of what's going on in the city, and the different things that are coming up. Let's see if I missed anything here. Corporation limits. This is just on Fieldstone. A lot of paperwork. A lot of paperwork going into this one. So took about 2.5 hours to just read through the material, and then another couple hours to kind of do some sidebar analysis of the situation. I like what's been presented. It's kind of solid, but like I said, I've got some misgivings on this that definitely we'll have to talk about, and then we'll see how the votes come out. So if you're interested, turn on KIT TV next week and watch it, or if you're really interested, come and see us Monday night at City Government Center at 7:30. This is Sunday, February 5th. The meeting's on February 6th. Thank you, and hope to see you there.